Banjo-Kazooie are finally in Super Smash Bros. There is a god and his name is Masahiro Sakurai. The latest Nintendo Direct was awesome. Even not including all the Smash stuff, there was plenty of exciting stuff shown off, but counting the Smash stuff, it was dream after dream after dream come true. Banjo-Kazooie saddle dropped, Terry Bogart's confirmed for Smash, more DLC characters are coming, Home Run Contest is back, Santa's in Smash and he brought Megalovania with him, no more new modes will be added. Oh wait, look. September 4th is going to go down as the best day of 2019 for me, and I was miserable pre-direct. I just want to make it explicitly clear that I left this direct with nothing but gratitude for all the hard work that Sakurai and his team continue putting into Super Smash Bros. That said, hearing that there'd be no new modes did sting a little because ever since they added Stage Builder, my mind's been flooded with other additions that could be reasonably added to the Ultimate. And let me tell ya, VR wasn't one of them. Home Run Contest was though, because Smash Ultimate is a top contender for my favorite game of all time, and it's so close to perfect that today I just want to celebrate my favorite game by complaining about what's not in it. Seriously though, I'm just really eager to express my ideas on how to transform Smash Ultimate into Smash Perfect with the gaming community. I do have a few clarifications to go through first before I can start. None of my updates will be about additional characters or stages. As much as I'd love to have literally every stage in Smash history, I miss you, Pokefloats. The addition of any stage simply just improves the game. Same for the characters. Adding any character to the game just makes the game better. Besides, we have the DLC for that. We already know we're paying for any future characters in their stages, so including that content it seems kind of unreasonable considering I'm talking about stuff they include in free updates a la Stage Builder and Home Run Contest. And on that note, I will only be including stuff I deem reasonable for them to add. For example, I would love if Classic Mode included just one other layout for Race to the Finish to break up the massive monotony of doing the same one over 70 times, but it doesn't really seem reasonable to expect them to incorporate something that would strongly alter an already established mode when most players have likely already experienced all the worlds outside of the upcoming DLCs. There's no better way to start this off than by going over my ideas that have recently been denounced in the latest Direct. You'll notice most of my ideas function as customization tweaks and options essentially, since again I already feel Ultimate is essentially perfect, but there are modes I was hoping they'd add in future updates. So let's start with a mode that was never feasible to return to begin with, a proper All-Star mode. Now I understand the criticisms that the mode may face returning, namely the fact that there's way too many cooks in the kitchen this time around, and while I understand that, there's a pretty simple solution. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's big theme donuts reveal was everyone is here. The roster featured everyone to ever smash, plus some new additions was mind-blowing, and that's why I'm proposing they make All-Star mode about the roster specifically. In my dream, All-Star mode will return with various options, allowing you to fight against the entire roster of any of the games in the series. Want a quick and easy experience? You select the N64 roster and only fight the first 12 in succession. Want the original experience? You can select the Melee roster, only fighting the characters in Melee on the Melee stages too, preferably. And that would be the same deal for every entry in the series, so you could play All-Star mode against the 70 plus roster of Ultimate, or do something more manageable, allowing the mode to not seem so intimidating, while providing much more to do. And finally highlighting the growth and scale of the Smash series. Because ultimately, the appeal of All-Star mode was never that you fought the entire roster, it was the unique circumstances under which you tackled them. Having to manage your health, having to decide whether or not you should heal now or risk another fight. In co-op, trying to determine if you get an equal seal or allow your opponent to take an extra heart. It was all these elements around the fights that made All-Star such a fantastic mode, and there's nothing resembling that type of gameplay in Ultimate, which is my biggest fault with the game. Again though, I'm aware that what I'm asking for there would be unreasonable to expect for them to develop. Even prior to Sakurai confirming Home Run Contest would be the last game mode included. I absolutely love it, and I wanted to share that idea because I'm passionate about its strength, but I understand it's stretching the bounds of feasibility a bit too far. So then, is there a way to reincorporate that gameplay style without having to attach it to All-Star mode? For that answer, you only have to look towards Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the mode I most want them to include in a future update, even more so than I wanted Stage Builder, is a Boss Rush mode, featuring all the bosses in Classic and World of Light. There are several benefits to them adding this mode. For starters, it brings back the aforementioned gameplay style of All-Star mode in a manner that's likely a lot more manageable. Secondly, I love the bosses in Ultimate, however there's no real convenient way to fight them. Either I have to go down a specific classic route, which limits your options on who you can even play as, or I have to go through World of Light, though you can't refight bosses after defeating them, so that's not a viable option either. And finally, it would be a huge time sink, providing probably hours upon hours of game time, since I love setting a score for every character, especially if they have co-op, which they most certainly would. Adding this would likely eliminate any doubt I have in my mind about whether or not Smash Ultimate is my favorite game of all time or not. Now, let's scale back and focus on some simple convenience of life updates. For starters, they could fix Stage Builder. I love Stage Builder, not only for the insane amount of genius stages that people much more visually creative and intuitive than me can craft, but for the personal satisfaction I get from putting people through this torture. And this is definitely the best version of Stage Builder we've ever gotten. And while there are some additional features I'd want, like maybe the ability to add water, my first stream update is exclusively that they'd add a copy and paste feature, except this isn't my first stream update. If you want to create any kind of symmetrical level layouts, you're going to need to painstakingly recreate the necessary parts. I do it by literally counting the grid spaces I used for each piece, and it turns the process into an incredible chore. The edit function allows you to cover an entire area of your stage with all its pieces intact and alter everything within its space. Just adding the option to copy from there would be a tremendous improvement, and I really hope it's something they add in a future patch. That's not the only simple convenience of life improvement I desire though. There's one more, and that's in the form of the tournaments. I love tournament mode. It's perhaps my go-to mode for fun with my brother and my friends. Ignoring how much I play Zelda in favor of anyone else, I'm not a big fan of the concept of mains in Smash. There are so many characters here that I just adore playing as, and the best excuse to play as multiple different characters is tourney. Normally I play with my brother, and we both have a set of characters that are ours, as well as some CPUs. Whenever two of our own characters fight, we just decide who plays who, and it works out really well. However, my issue is that if you want to simulate this experience as a single player, as I often do, you'd be forced to have only a single fight in the tournament, or else you're going to have to forfeit a lot of matches. I would really love if they had the option to, for a match, just change the player character into a CPU. In the rules for tournament, you get to assign what levels the CPU will all be. It can easily become an option. You can set to a CPU in the middle of a smashdown, and I think tourney would benefit from that luxury. I mean, even if you select the random difficulty for the CPUs in the tourney options, the player characters are even given an assigned difficulty already, so if they have that information anyway, it just seems like implementing the option to switch one to a CPU in a tournament mode would be easier than one might imagine. Even if you can't switch back, I'd still really appreciate this being added. I'm not finished with tournament mode though. I have one more request from it. Tag team tournament brackets. That's it. Pretty self-explanatory. Moving on. One of the best elements of Smash Ultimate is the insane amount of customization available to the players. Are you like me and prefer traditional one-on-one confrontations with no items? Or are you a madman who prefers 8-man free-for-all with the beetle turned on high? Either way, you're covered. The game allows you to freely tailor the experience to your liking, but there is one blind spot here. Assist trophies, and also Pokeballs, although I have less issues with those. But I definitely think it'd be cool if, similar to how we can customize what items will appear, if we were guaranteed the ability to do the same with assist trophies and Pokeballs. Because I'm a big fan of most of the Hazard style assist trophies like Andross, the Squid Sisters, Flying Hands, Yuri Kozukata, and the freaking Moon, but there's a good amount of the combatant ones I just don't find very fun to deal with. It automatically places you in a handicapped circumstance. I would love to be able to customize the assist trophy so that I can ensure that only the ones that require spatial awareness to deal with pop out, rather than those who just serve to gang up on you. Another customization addition I'd like is the ability to more deeply customize the stages in terms of their hazards. In Smash Ultimate, what's considered a stage hazard can vary greatly from stage to stage, and while I generally prefer the variations without the hazards, there are certain stages I feel are made far worse without them. For example, Paper Mario doesn't transition past its first screen, and the first screen features the worst layout of the three in my opinion. This is far from a huge issue, and just allowing us to turn hazards off is something I'm super appreciative of, but it'd still be cool if in tournament mode again, I could set it up so that I don't have to sacrifice transforming stages so I don't have to deal with bosses or vice versa. Finally, let's end off with something that I don't believe technically classifies as a new mode. Thus, I think it's still on the table to be added down the line, despite being a more substantial addition than many of my customization or convenience options I proposed earlier. And that is Coin Battle! I won't pretend that I played Coin Battle any more than a handful of times throughout its illustrious history in Smash, but in fairness, I also never really opted to play anything besides Stock. Still, Coin Battle was a staple of the series for even longer than Stage Builder, and it feels like it'd be easily feasible for them to put this back in for the 5 people who really miss it. I'd also love for Break the Targets or Board the Platforms to return too, but at the point Ultimate's roster's in, that isn't a feasible request. It only leads to the disappointment that it lacks the individualistic flavor in the early games. But Coin Battle? That has to to be a relatively easy add. As the title says, if they added all these into the game through future patches, I would consider the game to be perfect. But even if they just focus on the DLC from here forward, Smash Ultimate is still a fantastic culmination of all the Smash games, and without question, one of the greatest achievements in gaming history. And I'm ecstatic about the future of Smash regardless due to the DLC. Like, even if I don't care about the characters in question, and thus far Banjo and Kazooie have been the only DLC characters I've had any personal investment in, I still get hyped for any DLC character because I know Sakurai and his team pour so much love into crafting them that I can't help but get enveloped in their passion. I've only played 2 games with Terry in it, yet I'm still excited to get my hands on him in Smash and can't wait to see what cool homages to his history they incorporate. I will forever adore this game no matter what. These were just a few things I'd love to see added, but what about you? Are my hopes and dreams stupid? Is there anything you want to see them add in a future patch? Do you think Terry Bogard will have these same input controls like Street Fighter characters get? Let me know in the comments below.